Morning glory and evening grace, America. It's Hugh Hewitt broadcasting today from Boston from AM 1260. The Buzz on New Hampshire primary day. The day we have waited for so long is finally upon us. Joining me throughout this 6-hour broadcast, John Allen, roll call columnist and executive editor of Sidewire. And I want you to download the Sidewire app and take part in the Sidewire conversation, which is online throughout our 6 hours. And John, where can they find Sidewire?
They can find Sidewire in the App Store or Google Play, download it to their phones, and watch the conversation.
It's a great conversation to watch. We begin with a very special guest. I have said for months now, the best interview in America is Donald Trump. I have to revise that today because I have the new best interview in America, Ivanka Trump, who is the executive vice president of the Trump Organization. Ivanka, welcome to the Hugh Hewitt Show with John Allen. It's great to have you. Thank you for joining me on Election Day.
Thank you, Hugh. I know you don't mean that, but I appreciate it regardless.
No, I do mean that. I got a letter, an email last night. I told my wife that Ivanka was going to open the show, and Brigitte, her friend, sent me a bunch of stuff about you. You are fascinating to Americans, and they don't ever hear you interviewed. You haven't done many interviews, have you?
I've done a couple of interviews, but not too many.
Well, I appreciate this. I want to congratulate you, by the way, on the opening of the old post office early. I read that story this morning. I had an office in the old post office when the National Endowment for the Humanities was there, and I don't know how you turn that into a hotel.
Oh, you're kidding. That's amazing. So, I mean, it's an unbelievable building, and it's got an unbelievable history. Tallest building in Washington, D.C., and right on Pennsylvania Avenue between the White House and the Capitol. So it's just such a beautiful, grand building that was becoming dilapidated and was totally underutilized. So the government actually put out a process looking for private sector redevelopment of the asset. It was a very onerous and very competitive RFP. And amazingly, the Obama administration selected the Trump Organization above hundreds of developers who are seeking this opportunity to redevelop the building. And we're going to be opening almost 2 years ahead of schedule. So I would say that's probably a first.
It is.
DC and for Pennsylvania Avenue.
You know, as a resident of Washington, it looks like a coming soon sign for the next resident of the White House.
Coming soon, Trump 2016.
No, Ivanka, let me get right to the most important question, the one that my friend Brigitte wanted answered. What do your children call your dad?
Grandpa.
Is he a grandpa?
Yes.
We just made news. And how are you feeling? You're very close to delivering number 3, aren't you?
Very close. So I'm 8.5 months now. So, still a few weeks away, but and probably, or most definitely not supposed to be traveling, but this is historic, and it's incredibly exciting. Look, I've seen my father in various roles my whole entire life, obviously, as a father, but also over the last decade as the head of the Trump Organization, where my brothers and I work alongside of him, and he never ceases to amaze me in terms of his ability to set a course, set a vision, and then ultimately execute while inspiring, in the case of the Trump Organization, tens of thousands of employees along the way. So it is really exciting to just be an observer. I joke, people ask if I'm involved in the campaign, and I'm not. I'm just a really proud daughter who's supporting her father, who knows how capable he is and how committed he is to seeing this country live up to its potential and ultimately fight for the interests of the American people. So it's great.
Oh, I saw you walk up and during the first debate and talk to him. I saw you walk right up to him. And what advice did you give him during that first break?
Oh, I try not to give him advice, especially in a context like that. You just want somebody to be relaxed and to be themselves, and that's really the advice I give him, to just be himself. So, but it's an incredible thing, and the learning curve has been obviously a steep one. We've never been in politics. Politics is definitely not our family business. We don't even particularly love the word. So seeing what he's done in 6 months is remarkable.
Let me ask you a question about his being a dad. I have a daughter who's just a couple years younger than you, and she was more often happy with me than upset. But a couple of times she got really mad. For example, when I wouldn't let her take the car on New Year's Eve to Anaheim. So when were you most upset with your dad growing up?
Oh, gosh. too many to name, but normally when rights were forfeited, just like you suggested. The great injustices of childhood. It is funny, though, because now I'm a parent myself. I have two toddlers. My oldest toddler is my daughter Arabella. She's 4.5, and she challenges me every day. Everything's a negotiation. So I actually appreciate now how much harder it is to be a great parent, to be a disciplinarian. It's so much easier to sort of acquiesce and give them what they want, especially, you know, when the stakes are pretty low. But it's a tough job. So I'm learning this real time myself right now, and it makes me appreciate, you know, the role he played, you know, as a parent all the more. So, you know, giving kids a strong moral compass, having them really want to work and find what it is that they're passionate about, and instilling that work ethic in them, you know, especially when they're born into privilege, it's hard. So I respect him very much for giving that to my siblings and myself.
I've got two about the same ages as yours. A 4.5-year-old is my eldest as well. So I respect your decision to have three. Good luck with that, because two is pretty tough. But you mentioned earlier.
You know how it goes in a couple of months.
You mentioned earlier that politics is not your family business, but I look at you as a business executive, as somebody who has been passionate about a good number of causes over the years, and I wonder, might you run for office someday?
You know, my focus is very much on our business, and especially now. You know, my father is 100% into this and 100% committed, and you know, this is his primary focus, which means that my brothers and I are running a very big business, and so we've never been busier. But you know, for now, I would say it's definitely not a focus of mine.
I did not hear a no there.
Just to watch this. Sorry?
I didn't hear a no either. That was not a Sherman-esque statement.
You know, I would say no definitively, but I've learned over the, you know, my not too long life that you never know what happens. But definitely it's not on the radar for me anytime in the near future.
Ivanka, today is primary day. I'm way out on a limb. I predicted your father is going to win, and I think fairly with a lot of margin between him and second place, who I think is going to be Governor Kasich. But what is your pitch to the people of New Hampshire who are listening on 1260 tonight, or up in Derry where I'm broadcast, or anywhere, about why they should pick your dad over any of the other Republicans who are in the field?
Well, I think first of all, we don't take that, you know, the excitement and support for granted. So, you know, for him to win New Hampshire, people have to come out and vote. So, you know, we definitely don't look at this as a done deal, and we hope that the enthusiasm and support translates. And we, you know, we're excited that it will. But I would encourage everyone to get out and vote. And we're actually going to be going to a bunch of different voting locations, my whole family, and meet with both the volunteers and the people themselves that are coming out to vote, and really thank them. So I was doing that this morning, and we'll be doing that again this afternoon. But you know, really, I think what this country needs is somebody with a track record of execution. And my father has executed at the highest level across multiple industries for decades. And you know, that's what this country needs: somebody who's a pragmatist, somebody who's not afraid to be a leader. My father, since he stepped into this race, has set the agenda for everything that the party on both sides of the aisle has been talking about on all the issues. And
did he always tell you? Did he always tell you growing up you could do whatever you wanted? Because development is such a hard business, and here you are, the executive vice president. And I know the difficulties of that old post office project because having been a tenant there for a while. Did he always just say you can do whatever you want?
Yeah, and I think it's actually one of my father's great gifts. He's encouraged not only my siblings and myself, but all the people around him to really swing for the fences and try and achieve their full potential. So, you know, there are no excuses. You know, excuses weren't something that he loved. It was always about sort of finding solutions, doing and pursuing what it is that you're passionate about. So amazingly, he really didn't push any of us into real estate. He expressed the fact that obviously he'd love if we'd be interested in joining him. But he really wanted us to keep our minds open to other opportunities because he strongly believes that unless you're passionate about what it is that you do, you just won't be successful. You'll be outworked.
Ivanka, thank you so much for opening our New Hampshire night special, and I will see you in Houston at the debate on the 25th and again in Miami. I hope you're with your dad on both of those occasions. I'm sure he'll still be in the race. I'm not sure how many other people will be. But Ivanka Trump opening the show today. Congratulations and good luck on the delivery of baby number 3.
Mazel tov.
I'll be right back with John Allen of Sidewire, and you can go get the app for Sidewire during this, and you can get in line to talk to me and John, 1-800-520-1234. Such a show today. I'll tell you about it when we come back. Hi, this is Hugh Hewitt. Thank you for stopping by my YouTube channel. Click right here to watch previous ones that you may not have seen, and click right here to subscribe to get all of them. And this is what you really need to do, is click right here to subscribe. Thanks for coming by. Don't miss a minute of any of the Hugh Hewitt YouTubes.